hard in with Dole and Kyle.
What's
That's
up?
how we're doing things tonight. How's it going, Kyle?
Good, man. How are you? That was perhaps the most epic intro I've ever been preceded by. That was
that's
pretty insane. Yeah, I
gotta.
This is where
Craig
the fun
one.
begins. Yeah, amazing.
Yeah. Well, nothing beats the toy anxiety theme. Like the toy anxiety theme is like top tier.
Yeah.
Like it is so good. Kyle, welcome to Gotham City tonight.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I will say that I'm a big fan. I'm excited to be here. Little known fact, can we swear here in Gotham, or is that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Fucking love Batman, and I have worked on Batman on and off for many years. Favorite superhero, all that stuff. So I'm very, very excited to be able to talk to you guys about.
Are you allowed to talk about what you worked on?
Some of it, yeah. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Okay, go.
Do you want me to do that now?
Yeah. You can't just say that. Then...
No, that's true. So we've talked about it on and off at Toy Executive. I used to work at a place called Cryptozoic Entertainment that had like a very small toy section, collectibles section of stuff. So I worked on, there was like a Rat Fink style 66 Batmobile statue that I worked on. Like it was like super squashed and like, high up energy flames. Like it looked like Rat Fink, but like the 66 Batmobile. Cool. I did some like mini blind box stuff, specifically on like DC Bombshells. There was like one of the waves had Batman in it. I've done a lot of stuff for Batman that like didn't become real, just like, statue ideas, statue concepts. Cryptozoic also did like this Batman hand statue where he's like holding the Batarang, and it's like life size. I remember my very first day like working in toys at all, like my boss at the time was like, I want to do Batman with a Batarang, like what kind of Batarang should it come with? And so I pulled out, like I made like 5 copies of the hands and then did different Batarang styles to like show them, and I was like, this is the greatest day of my life. I'm getting paid to draw Batarangs. And so that was always fun. And then like I've done some larger format stuff for other companies as well that haven't released yet, but like statues and whatnot. But I'll be sure to post it with you or send it to you when that does get revealed. So
yes, please.
Yeah. You work in the toy industry a lot of, I mean, as you know, like a lot of 90% of your world is NDA too. So it's like,
what
can you talk about? What can't you?
That's my world as well. That's why I still haven't got to do any Spider-Verse episodes yet, because Sony, Sony's just like, just hang tight. Like, what are you waiting for? The movie's been out for like 30 years now. Like,
I mean, there's the second half too. Like, there's what's the off chance that you say one thing that is in the next one and not?
That's true. That's probably very true as well. But they'll usually give me a list of like things I can't talk about. And they'll be like, don't talk about the budget. Like, yeah,
I do like the subtle, like, is that like a subtle amount of like just rebellion and just like silent protest of wearing your Cross the Spider-Verse thing on your stream every time?
Every time.
This is Gotham, Ryan.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna change it up. I'll do it. It'll be daily. People will know when it starts to be called Daily Bugle tonight. They'll know it's a Spider-Man episode.
Oh, okay. I like it.
That's how.
That's
how I'll switch it up.
Yeah, nice. But anyways, I have a pretty long history with the character. Been a big fan for a very long time. First,
that's
awesome. Basically the character that got me into comics again. Because a friend of mine in high school was like, "You ever heard of Hush?" And I was like, "Nope." And he was like, "You got to read this." So,
Jim Lee, man, Jim Lee is a gateway drug to comics.
Yeah,
because he was my gateway to comic. Like he was doing Uncanny X-Men at the time, and it was his art that had me like, who are they? And how do I become them?
Yeah.
And
same way when I was like 7 or 8, it was like the Uncanny X-Men run. Like it was at that point, it had been out for, 7 or 8 years or something like that. But I was like, what is this? How do I get all this? And like, you try to draw like Jim Lee because everybody wants to be Jim Lee when they grow up, when they start drawing.
Yeah. It's true. It's totally true.
So.
That's awesome. When did you start? Did you ever start collect? Do you ever collect Batman?
Yes, I have a pretty significant Batman collection of stuff, so it's kind of hard to see because it's always behind me. But what am I doing here? This detail here, the far back one, that's all DC stuff. And it's awesome. Like Hot Toys, Storm, Mafex, and then I have down here I have all of the remember the Q-Figs by Quantum Mechanics. I have all of their like DC ones for no apparent reason. And I had all of for a while I had all of the Mezco DC characters. And there's some of them that I like won't get rid of too, like Jim Gordon with the bat signal. Like who's ever going to make a soft goods Jim Gordon again? Nobody. That's who. So I'm probably going to hold on to that forever.
Yeah. No offense to Todd, but he's not really one for soft goods.
No, he's not. So I definitely don't have the full Rogues gallery that I like used to have. I remember I was collecting like probably like early college. I was collecting just like whatever Batman characters I can have, and I was trying to get like a true Rogues gallery of like one of each character, and I didn't really care who made it. Like so I had like the DC Direct Tim Sale Two-Face, because that's like my favorite version of Two-Face. And I had like the DC Universe Classics, like Killer Croc, because like that one looks cool. And I just kind of like grabbed stuff wherever. Because there was a lot of DC Direct stuff, and then you move, you sell, you do it again, you like try and get the stuff again. And so then like Mezco filled that void for a while, and then I moved here, and then I never opened my Mezcos again for whatever reason. So I got rid of a good chunk of them. But then I rediscovered Mafex, and Mafex is like DC stuff, like kind of can't be touched right now.
I'm trying not to dive into that. If I fall down that rabbit hole, I'm going to be in like serious trouble. And I've got like a collection now where like a Batman animated series, like the DC Direct ones.
That's great.
That is like I got the Batmobile, the Bat Signal, the Bat Cave. Like I'm the only vehicle I'm missing.
You have the cave?
Yeah, I have the cave. Wow. The only one I'm missing is the Batwing, because I don't know where I would put it, even if I got it.
Just hang it from the ceiling.
Man, that's what everyone says, but I'm trying to do whatever I can be to not be a ceiling hanger guy, because I live in a small apartment in the most expensive city in North America, so I need to like, I don't have an extra like toy room. The whole place is a toy room.
We'll just hang it from your ceiling, points down above your bed, so that if it drops, it's just game over. You don't have to worry about it.
You and I both live in earthquake zones.
That's right. Yeah.
We'll just make it a guillotine.
Oh, dude, all it's gonna take is like not even like a big one. Like it'll like a 2.1 will take all of this out. That's not even like that big a deal.
You'll be sweeping for days. It's totally true. We should quickly say hello to the chat.
Oh, yes, please.
Let's say hello to everybody. Stanley, who's going to be watching from beyond. Everyone enjoy their dark meat night tomorrow. I know what you're saying, but it's not coming across the way you think, Stanley. but I hope everyone enjoys their dirty American Thanksgiving. Hope everyone just has fun. Are you doing anything for Thanksgiving, Kyle?
Yeah. My lady and I, we grew up 15 minutes away from each other, so we'll be driving up about an hour north to the OC, as it's called. And we're actually combining our families for Thanksgiving for the first time. So our problems are either over or just beginning. So.
Yes. We got to do a follow-up episode.
Yes, I will.
I have to know.
At the very least, you can message me during and be like, "How you doing, bud?" And if I don't respond, you know what happened.
Yeah. Best wishes.
Thank you.
Johnny Cog is here. Matt Bush, Derek Hoover, Brian Carr, Bacon McShig, Gady's Toys, Kyle. Multiple places all at once. Nolan
That's my
is
burner
here.
account too.
I love it. Yeah.
But it still says my name, so it's not much of a burner.
Right. Sexy Rat Kingmaker is here. That's a great comment. The Jack Knight 73. Stanley's Toy Channel. Toy Art SA Gotham Stalker is here as well. Matt Bush with the super chat. Thank you very much. Sexy pizza face confirmed.
I mean,
well, time will tell.
Time will tell. Yeah, your prayers may be answered sooner than you think. How's that?
Yeah. Hey, no, we're not doing hard-hitting questions tonight. Chad Stewart is here. Unlimited power. And Jordan Andrew Brinkley Studios. Hey, Mitchell, how's it going? Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for coming out and hanging out and being in the chat and having fun. Let's dive right into the first bit of news before we get into Batman animated series. Superman, the Superman legacy, where the cast is pretty much almost fleshed out. I think we're missing one important character, which would be Perry White.
Yeah.
But are you a Superman fan just from the because you say you came from Hush. After Hush, Jeff Loeb and Jim Lee jumped onto Superman for a bit. It was kind of a little underwhelming, but the art
for
was
tomorrow,
amazing,
Our art was great. Yeah. I will say that as a kid, or as a teen, I was like, oh man, who likes Superman? This like goody two shoes Mary Sue, like nobody likes this guy, like whatever. But now being an adult in the real world, having the man beating him down, I very much understand the importance of a good Superman story.
Say I wasn't the same way. Like I was at that wonderful age of being a teenager when the death, like a young teenager, when the death of Superman happened.
Yeah.
So when Superboy came out with the leather jacket, and we got the Tim Drake series at the same time, there was nothing better.
Yeah. You saw yourself.
I was like, there's two really cool white kids. That's me. That's 100% me. But man, I love that Superboy. It's kind of funny. Like both those characters have been kind of pushed to the side just due to time.
Yeah.
And things changing and that kind of stuff. They always keep trying to bring them back, but then they do. Seems like they don't quite. It's hard to. I don't know. It's just they're creating so many characters that are younger that are coming after them.
Yeah.
They kind of get lost in the shuffle. So that happens. But man, once I started reading Superman with the Return of Superman, I've always really enjoyed that character, and it's. Lois and Clark came out around the same time as well. The New Adventures of Superman. Lord knows I had the biggest crush on Terry Hatcher.
Yep.
As we all did.
As we all did in the 90s. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So
I'm trying to think of what Superman thing got me into it. It probably was his involvement in Justice League and Justice League Unlimited. Those stories were very much influential on how I understood and came to know the DC universe at large. I
think it was for a lot of people. I remember just there were certain characters I never cared about.
Yeah.
In DC, like the Question.
Yeah, but he's the coolest person in Justice League Unlimited.
Right. And then all of a sudden, then I was like, oh, the Question's my favorite superhero. He's always been. But you know what? You get all these characters, these C and D list characters getting a spotlight. Again, I've always been a big fan of the Archers, Hawkeye and Green Arrow.
The first episode of Justice League Unlimited with Green Arrow, where he shoots the radium stick into the giant radiation monster, is amazing. It's so good.
It's so good. It is hands down one of my and man, whoever they got to voice, I can't remember who they got to voice Green Arrow, but holy moly, it's the voice they casted it as well as Batman in the sense of that's 100%. The voice you've always heard in your head, but you never knew it. But that was the voice.
Yeah.
Right.
And Tim Daly with Superman is amazing as well.
It's amazing.
So good.
Yeah. Right. So again,
we're getting ahead of ourselves here.
We're going to get into Batman already. It's hard not to. It's so ingrained in my DNA that I automatically want to go to Batman animated series, but we are getting a new Superman movie. The beautiful Henry Cavill, he's no longer our Superman. We're getting a new one. I mean, Lexi kind of put it best a couple weeks ago where she was like, they should have just did a hard reset on everybody, but now there's some people coming in from that universe, some actors staying, some not. I agree with her. It is a little weird. They should have just did a hard reset. But I do want to talk about we got ourselves a Lex Luthor and Nicholas Hoult.
Yeah.
We have Skylar Gisondo. I don't know how to say people's names right, by the way.
Skylar Gisondo is how he's saying.
Gisondo. Jimmy Olsen.
Yeah, he's amazing. He's actually really good in everything he's been in. And I might be biased because my cousin cast him in the movie that he wrote and directed. So he's a good dude.
Yeah, I'm so stoked for him. Actually, when they said it was him, and I was like, is it the guy I'm thinking of? And then when, of course, you look it up and it is, and you're like, oh my God, this guy's going to be he's perfect.
Yeah, so good. He's amazing.
Like he's gonna have that charm that just I really hope they dye his hair red. I hope I hope they go.
His hair's already kind of red in that picture. A little bit.
It is a little bit, but I'm not gonna lie, I kind of hope we get a sweater vest and bow tie Jimmy. The last few Jimmys,
what the kids wear these days.
What the kid? I guess I'm trying. What would be the modern equivalent to sweater vest and bow tie? Like, what's the
turtleneck and chain?
Turtleneck and chain. Like, I'm trying to think of what it would be. Like, I don't know. Now I'm about to say like a graphic tee and shorts, but that's Craig. That's
Craig as Jimmy Olsen.
Yeah, hang on. What do we got? Andrew, Gady's Toys. Hipster Jimmy. Hipster Jimmy would probably work.
Yep.
But to me, my biggest problem with the last couple live action Jimmy Olsens, well, first off, Snyder killed his Jimmy Olsen off for fun in the first 2 minutes of Batman versus Superman extended edition or something. And then without even
problem with the for fun part of that.
Yeah. Oh, me too. Me too. And then the Jimmy Olsen from the Supergirl TV series was way too beautiful of a man.
Yeah.
He was way too cool, way too smooth.
If he's cooler than Superman, then that's not the point.
Right.
He's supposed to be kind of a dork.
Yeah. Yeah. If he's getting laid more than Lois Lane, there's a problem. There's 100%. Jimmy Olsen should, even if Jimmy Olsen loses his virginity, he should always have virgin energy.
Yes, 100%. Yeah.
Right? If anything, he's kind of like Jay from Geek Dad Life in a way. He's got to have that kind of energy. It's hard to believe.
Keep me out of your beef. I don't need to be in smush between this beef sandwich. I'm good.
I love Jay to death. But we got Jimmy, perfect casting.
Yes.
Oh, and we got Sarah Sampaio. I'm hoping I said that right too. Steve Teschmacher. Again, that's a throwback from the Christopher Reeve movie. She's appeared briefly in Earth 2 comics. But really she's mainly from the Christopher Reeves universe.
That's cool. That they're kind of
and they're recast. They brought her in as well, so which has me excited. Nicholas Hoult.
I realize that he plays
Garfield.
No, I realize that he plays a lot of kind of Jimmy Olsen types, but I think he could do villainous really well. I think he hasn't gotten the chance.
So too. I agree, because I was thinking Beast. But you're right. He does, even in Mad Max, he plays a very kind of dorky.
And he's got a good head for the baldness. So
yes,
he's got the right head shape.
I wasn't actually, when they first casted him too, I was kind of like, oh, are they gonna do bald? And then I saw then the next day they showed who they casted for Jimmy, and I was like, oh, they're totally doing bald. 100% they're going bald.
The Jimmy is going your litmus test. Yeah.
Yeah. kind of I actually honestly, almost see this Clark Kent going with the Max Fleischer style shield on the chest. I could almost see that happening as well.
Some black in there maybe. Yeah, who knows?
Right? Unlimited power. Hollywood hates redheads. They do. so
but
so
they
we're gonna
love
see
Bryce Dallas Howard.
Oh,
So
how do you not?
how do you not? Yeah, exactly.
How,
What's not to
she's
love? I mean, look
she's
at that
perfect.
picture of Nicholas Hoult. He looks a little sinister.
He does. I think they know what they're doing now. I think with IMBD, when somebody gets cast in something high profile, like look at even Anthony Carrigan. He's going to be playing Metamorpho. Like
Right.
they somehow made him look like Metamorpho. Like,
yeah. Who's the most famous person without eyebrows other than Whoopi Goldberg? Anthony Carrigan.
It would be Anthony Carrigan. It's the right, but everyone looks spot on. Like I honestly at first I was
100%.
like, really, we're getting Metamorpho and Guy Gardner and Hawkgirl. Like, why? This is a Superman movie, and then somehow once everyone else kind of came into play, man, I got so excited. Is there anyone here that you're extra excited about that's not Superman?
I mean, Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane is like amazing. I think. I think she's super good. I mean, we love Mrs. Maisel in this house. So, and she's awesome in. I think she plays like I don't know whatever she played in House of Cards. Felt like a very Lois Laney type vibe. I think she's a prostitute though. Sorry, but I don't remember. Anyways, the only one I'm a little bit.
No, you're right. She did.
Okay,
she did. She played the. Yeah.
Okay. The only one I'm a little bit worried about. Like, I love Nathan Fillion. I don't know if he can pull off a bowl cut. I think it's gonna look really goofy.
Oh, okay. First off,
because it's like if like look at their Jimmy, then it's like okay, that means their Lex Luthor is gonna be bald, but like that's a really handsome Guy Gardner. I don't know if you can do it.
Oh, he is a yes. He is.
That's what I'm saying he's got the comedic chops for it, but he's like Brad Pitt is a character actor in a leading man's body. So it's kind of.
Oh my god, I've never heard that before, but that's spot on.
Yeah, 100%.
Holy shit!
That's all they want to do, but they're like, I'm so hot, like Sexy Rat King.
So. Yeah, sexy. Oh my god, Brad Pitt should 100% play Rat King. God, how good would that be?
And then you guys would come back to me like, we're so sorry, Kyle. You were so right. You're a prophet, less of a designer.
Hey, hold up. I want to say this right now. Myself, right from the get-go, I was on board with that Rat King. From the get-go. I stood up for that. I fought for that Rat King.
I know. Thank you very much.
But yeah, I'm also excited about getting Mr. Terrific and
yeah. I don't care who plays him. I'm just excited you get Mr. Terrific in a movie.
Right. And so I'm hoping this means we're gonna with Metamorpho as well. So I'm kind of hoping that maybe Hawkgirl, we're gonna get some Justice Society, maybe not necessarily Justice League. And even if it is Justice League, I'm still game. We don't know what's coming. We have no idea.
Yeah. Where did you land on Black Adam?
Well, so okay.
I only bring that up. I only bring that up because as many issues as I have with that movie, when I kind of switch brain off, and I'm like, I'm watching a movie where I'm seeing Hawkman and Dr. Fate fight some. It's like that part's amazing, and so I'm kind of imagining, hopefully a little bit better, but maybe same kind of energy to the inclusion of these other characters. Obviously, it's a Superman movie, but it's like, oh yeah, it's great. Let's get these other guys too. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you on that as well. I'm glad that they're bringing in the engineer from, oh my gosh, Apollo, Midnighter. Why am I blanking? I always blank. But it's that. Oh my god, the Authority. And so I beat the chat to it. Okay. Yeah. So I'm glad that because we know that we're also getting somewhere down the line, we're getting a Midnighter series or movie. So regardless, this is a great way to kind of, I have a weird feeling we're going to hear a little more about Authority in this movie as well, more than we expect. Yeah. So I'm pretty,
Sam Jackson shows up at the end credits. I'm here to talk to you about the Authority.
Yeah. It would be Waller's. They still have Waller.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Waller could be like, it's.
Yeah.
Oh, Cadmus, man, it's gonna get crazy.
Another
one?
Am I blasphemous in thinking that I like Amanda Waller better than Nick Fury in terms of like government controller person? Okay, all right.
Nope.
But you know what I think that comes from? I think that comes from Justice League. Because whoever they cast for her is
Justice
amazing.
League Unlimited. Yeah. Well, that just that whole long played out story that they did with her, and then you get epilogue, which again we'll get into all of that later.
Yeah.
But again, the woman they casted for the live action Amanda Waller is just like boom spot, like because she's evil Oprah is what it comes down to at the end of the day, and because she has all of this power and all of this influence, she has everybody's ear. And so if she says so and so is bad, he's good now, but if he's not, we need a contingency plan. Like I love that, and I agree with you because there's still something very likable about Nick Fury.
Yeah, but somebody who had that much power and had to like protect the world would be completely unlikable, and that's what Amanda Waller is.
Exactly. Like I would not want to work in her office. No. I would not. I think that's what made Peacemaker so good too, is because now we're seeing her family. Like it's starting to get built there too. God, I love Peacemaker. So okay. Good.
Sorry.
Superman.
Good. This is Gotham City Tangents.
No, that's okay. Usually it's like the moment, like it's always funny. Like Kevin from Toying Around, he'll sometimes pop into the chat, and when he does, I'll be talking about Marvel or Star Wars. He'll be like, "I came here to talk. You're not talking about Batman." Every time. All right, we're gonna go from this, but this is gonna be the perfect segue. We're gonna go right into Batman animated series. I do want to say I'm excited for Superman Legacy. Like now that the strike is over, the news announcements are starting to just like flow in. I'm excited because now this means this movie is happening. Yeah. Because it's funny how a lot
little
of
announcement thing with the date and the font and all that stuff, right?
Yeah, we got everything. I'm hoping this movie has just enough level of cheese. Ooh, stat. I like this. Chad Stewart, let's have something funny and either have a Booster Gold or Plastic Man movie.
Dude,
I would totally be down.
Plastic Man movie would be amazing. John Ralphio should play Plastic Man. Whatever that actor's name is. I forget his name.
I'm 100% with that.
I think he's on record saying he wants to play Plastic Man too. So.
Oh, well then give it to him.
Yeah.
I think we're at that stage now. We should just do it. Somebody asks for it, just let him have it. Yeah. We get the best work out of him.
If Marvel can just like throw in Krasinski as Reed Richards, just like in an off chance for fun, like give John Ralphio Plastic Man for like a cameo. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Easy.
That'd be a fun story to do too, because he's an ex-gangster. Right? I think there'd be a lot there. I think you'd have a lot of fun with that. And I didn't answer your question about Black Adam and how I felt.
No, you're good.
But it was like we'll tackle that and we'll get into Batman. It's weird how it's like to me it was like a really weird movie because The Rock is always on God mode.
Yeah.
And he's playing a villain. So they tried so hard to make him like an anti-hero, like a Superman meets Batman mashup, and it just did not work.
Yeah.
For me. But however, like Dr. Fate, Pierce Brosnan was like spot on perfect.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
He was so good.
Yeah. And just like seeing the helmet and the things and like the big onkin or whatever, I was like, oh man, like,
yeah, I'm all for it.
That's what's so frustrating is like, I find myself liking the DC characters so much more, but they don't get the correct treatment. So I just, I like my Marvel stuff just fine.
Yep.
But if you're gonna, red pill, you get awesome effects of Doctor Strange. Blue pill, you get awesome effects of Dr. Fate. They're the same level, but it's like I'm taking Dr. Fate 100%. Like
same here.
Yeah, so much cooler.
So much cooler. But their JSA I thought was perfect.
Yes.
It's just like, and again, The Rock is a great Black Adam, but it was just like, I just wish he had a little less control over the story and the character. Just a,
I wish he was just a little more evil.
just a little more evil.
And a little more evil. Where was Shazam, and why aren't your ears pointed?
Why don't you? And where's that widow's peak of just like awesomeness? Like, there's, I think Black Adam is such an awesome character.
Yeah.
So it was like, so I always thought it's weird for him to get a movie without Shazam, but like, okay, we're doing this, I guess. All right, let's take a look at your.
Sure.
Whoop.
Yeah. Do we want to like?
Yeah. Do you want to give us an intro? Yeah. Give us.
Sure.
Give us an intro here before I throw this.
So, everybody, Dole was very kind in saying yes, because I messaged him. What was it, last week, and be like, "Hey man, like, I've been spending most of the year watching Batman the Animated Series with a friend of mine who's never seen it before, and I want to talk about it because I just finished the whole run." And Dole's like, "Sure, whatever." So here I am. Really cool. So a friend of mine who we've known each other for probably 3 or 4 years now. He used to run this like design group out here called AIGA, which is it's like Academy for Illustrators and Graphic Designers of America or something like that. I don't remember exactly what it's called, but it was just like a networking group where you could like meet other people in the entertainment arts and stuff and like network and whatnot. And so he ran the local chapter out here. And then he went and got a job at Adobe up in San Francisco. And about 8 months after that, I got a job at Super 7, which was in San Francisco as well. And so like for about a year, we were like, we're like young professionals hanging out, doing design work in San Francisco. Like, it's like, whatever.
Big deals.
Yeah, I guess. But like he and I, like we were like peripherally connected during the first stars, but then like when we're both up at San Francisco, it's like, oh, like we don't have anybody else, like we should hang out more. And so we started watching more stuff, and like it started with watching the Watchmen series on HBO, which is one of the best things I've seen in the last 20 years at this point. And he was really interested in that, and there's a whole comic book and all this other stuff, and got to talk him through it. And even not reading the comic book, he was like, oh, this is amazing. And so cut to through the pandemic and stuff, he's had 2 children, like we've talked on and off, and like he's he kind of wants to get back into that. And I maybe he is looking for more connections, just like we all are. And I don't remember what it was, but I think I found it. There's some blog somewhere on the internet that put together a watch list of Batman the Animated Series and what they deemed chronological order. And he had asked me at one point, like, oh, have you ever done this? And I was like, yeah, but I watched it as like a kid, and I used to watch Justice League and stuff on and off. But I was like, but you should watch this. Like, and I found like this list or whatever. He goes, oh, well, I don't really have any context for Batman. Like I know who he is, but I don't really kind of get it. And I was like, yeah, fuck it, I'll watch it with you. And so I sent him the blog post. He works at Adobe. He's very organized, loves spreadsheets, that kind of stuff. And so he took the whole blog and like reformatted it into the PDF that I sent you, Dole, and he broke it into weeks for us to watch stuff so that we could get through the entire kind of watch series in more or less the course of a year. His name's Archie. So this is Kyle and Archie.
I think this is Go to Gotham. I think that's super cute.
So it shows week 1 and then the date and then the episodes and then where they are on. So like episode 01 and then 101, that's like how HBO shows it. So you can find it because you do jump around a little bit. Like the first 2 episodes are episode 1 and 2, but then we jump to episode 25 and 20 and 27 and 59. Like, so it kind of bounces around. So we've been watching this since January 1st of 2023. And I'm happy to say that this week we just finished the entire series. However, what I will say is that it does not include season 3 new Batman new animated adventures or whatever of Batman.
Okay, yeah, I noticed that. So I did look at it, and I was like, which is fine.
Mm-hmm, yeah, but it does include Mask of the Phantasm and
saw that.
Sub-Zero as well.
Sub-Zero's underrated.
It is, because I watched it today because that was the last thing on the list.
Well, okay. Let's see, Heart of Ice and Feet of Clay. Then to Matt,
but I didn't get to Heart of Ice till May, dude. Do you know how hard it was to wait to watch that?
But dude, these ones in a row.
I know,
man.
I know. I think it was. You can zoom out a little bit, but I think season 3 was like loaded. Yeah, it was wild.
It's, dude, just everything. Joker's Wild is another good one.
Mm-hmm.
Demon's Quest, of course, that's another great one. Right into Shadow of the Bat. Anything, again, Clayface, all Clayface episodes
are amazing. Yeah,
there's not one bad one in the bunch.
No,
they are also good.
What I didn't realize, though, because Archie loves looking up, who did what on where and blah blah blah. What I didn't realize, though, is that some of and he caught it because he's a big fan of Akira. Some of the original team who animated on Akira also did parts for the animated series. If you go watch those Clayface episodes, it's so obvious. Like, if you have that in mind, be like, oh yeah, duh. Like, that's 100% just Akira. So,
but it looks so cool.
It does. It does.
I'm trying to think what else we got. Terrible Trios, another underrated episode.
So, okay, Terrible Trio, I think, is actually underrated. Archie, so that's the thing, is like every week we'll watch our 2 episodes, 2 or 3 depending, and then because we're adorable man babies, we call each other on the phone and talk about what we thought of all the episodes. It's about like an hour each week. Usually on Sundays, I'll call him. We'll talk about it, and I wrote, these are my Batman notes, and I wrote notes for all of the episodes.
Dang, dude, you gotta
as I'm watching it. Yeah. And I bring this up because Terrible Trio is one of his favorite episodes, I think.
Nice. Yeah.
And I what I didn't realize, though, is that Terrible Trio, I think it 100% influences The Dark Knight. For anybody who doesn't know the episode, they literally zipline out of a window, the exact same way that the clown dudes do in Dark Knight.
Yes.
Like shot for shot. It's like he's not even trying to hide that he took that.
Okay, this is I was going to bring this up, but you brought it up first.
Yeah.
After watching this whole series, did you notice not just that episode, they pulled a lot from these episodes into the Nolan trilogy.
100%.
Straight from that opening, there's stuff from Dark Knight Rises in there, stuff from Batman Begins, all pulled something out from all just random episodes, and you'll just be like, hey, wait a second.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I've watched those movies so tight. I'd have to look through my notes, but anytime I caught it, I know.
I'm glad
you see. Like Leonardo, 100%. I know exactly what that is.
I was doing that. I do that a lot too. I'm glad you wrote it down. You're gonna have to share your notes with me because I'd love to.
I will.
And we should make an edit of Nolan's trilogy through Batman animated series.
That's actually not a bad idea. Just
then call him out on his bullshit. Nolan, you're not a visionary. You took all this shit from Paul Dini.
That's right. That's not bullshit. If anything, we should be stoked that he used the greatest version of Batman as his template to make the movies. So,
well, I'm hoping
I hope that James Gunn is the same way and does the same thing.
So. I have a feeling he will be. I think we're going. Again, it's those. It's also a testament to how good this series is.
Yes.
That you just want to pull from it, because to me, this is the Batman animated series is still the measuring stick for anything that's not the comic books.
Yep.
And in some cases, it is better than the comic books, especially when you're looking at stuff like Mr. Freeze,
Mm-hmm.
I actually think Bane is better in this than Nightfall, because Nightfall got very convoluted, but that was a very 90s staple, was to like
it was
start strong and then just like okay, maybe we were doing this for too long.
Yeah, well, there's also the whole thing of like he's in prison because of like what his dad did, and it's like that's nonsense. Just make him a big buff guy who's smart. Like it doesn't.
Yeah.
I don't need that much backstory, I guess. But I can already hear the clacking away of keyboards of you don't understand, Bane.
Yeah. Quip, thank you also for being here. Yeah, I need to finish watching Batman the Animated Series.
Nice.
Wifey brought me the complete series on Blu-ray for Valentine's Day. That's
very good.
Yeah, you're good. You're set.
It went on sale this year on Blu-ray, I think for like $35, and I was like, I'm watching it. That's like my goal this year is like I'm buying it. Like so that way they can, like Nolan says, they can never take it away from you after that.
That's true. He did make that statement. Actually, that was really.
It was like last week.
It was last week. And the funny thing, I feel so torn between Christopher Nolan sometimes, because it's like, like sometimes he'll say something and I'm like, I don't agree, and that's okay. And I don't like Dark Knight Rises, and that's okay. But I'm not so naive or up my own ass enough to know that the guy is an incredible filmmaker.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then when him and I agree, it's on something that I feel is so very important.
Sure.
So it's like, it'll be dumb little shit that we don't agree on when he says something, but like something that's like important to me, I feel like him and I are on the exact same page, which tells me him and I would probably be best friends in real life. Because
I don't know if you wear enough suits to be his best friend.
I would start.
There you go. You change yourself for him.
Well, here's the thing. I feel like if him and I became friends, he would be good enough friend to show me how to buy a proper suit and wear it correctly.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? So that's how I feel about that. I would love to go suit shopping at the very least with Christopher Nolan. That's how I want to spend next Easter.
Yeah.
I want to go suit shopping with Christopher Nolan and then spend the rest of the day building crosses with Chris Pratt.
Oh my God.
I just want to hang out with Chris Pratt.
Is that just a day of Chris's? Like, what are you gonna do with Chris? What are you gonna do with Pine? What are you gonna do with Evans? What are you gonna do with Hemsworth? Are you gonna work out with Hemsworth? Obviously,
I'm gonna go to the gym with Hemsworth.
Yeah.
Chris Pine and I were going to go hit a whiskey bar after building crosses.
Hell yeah.
And then Chris Evans and I are gonna play tabletop board games.
There you go. Send each
other
Snapchats.
Yeah, send each other. Hey, wait a second. That's not a face. What kind of FaceTime is this? God damn it, Chris Evans. Right? Keep this going.
Yeah.
Time at a Joint, again, another character, which is Clock King.
Dude, Clock King? Yeah. I forgot how rad Clock King is. And knowing how Archie is like, punctual, love spreadsheets, that kind of stuff. So like, you're gonna love Clock King. Like,
yeah. But Clock King, to me, he's another one that DC Direct didn't make that has me just crushed.
Oh, they never made him? I thought
they never made
showed him. Did they show him? Like a prototype?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah.
Are you looking it up?
No, I
was like,
I feel kind of bad because I told Archie that I was gonna be on here because like obviously there's a chance that he was gonna come on too, and he wrote his thoughts for me.
Oh yeah, share them if we're bringing up something or if I'm missing something.
I know it's he sent me a lot, so I'm trying to like sneak in his observations because rather than just like read a wall of text because that's not interesting.
Right.
But yeah. Anyways,
well, he was more than welcome to pop on. It's like he's
I know he had a previous engagement and he has 2 young daughters, so it's
that'll do it.
Always busy. That guy.
That'll do it. Speaking of young daughters, even though she's not young, but she looks young, baby doll.
Yeah,
maybe
kind of a classic character. It's like her arc's not as strong as I remember it being when I was younger watching it.
Right.
Looking at it with adult eyes now. But still an interesting take. I was like, I think one of my notes was like Gary Coleman disease on this when I was watching this episode.
It is that. It doesn't get really weird until Adventures, the Batman Superman Adventures.
Oh, when she's like in love with Croc.
Yeah, and Croc just rolls with it, and I'm just like,
yeah.
Okay, not gonna judge. Love is love. Yeah. We're all good, but Clock King, dude, man. Yeah, there's not a Clock King needs more love out of all the Batman villains.
Can you imagine James Gunn goes Clock King for his first Batman villain?
Who would you cast?
Who would you cast? You know, I wish the timing was better. I would cast a younger John Lithgow.
Ooh, that's okay. Okay, because I was thinking, what's his face? He also does the voice of Superman in My Adventures with Superman, and he's on The Boys. He's the normal dude whose girlfriend.
Quaid's boy.
Quaid's boy.
Right?
Yeah.
That guy.
He's the one I would get to play.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Clock King. Yeah.
That's a young Clock King for sure. But for me, like Clock King has to be like older guy who's like been on time his whole life and it's gotten him nowhere. Like he's got to be jaded. He's got to be super jaded. He's got to like have done his time like on time for like 50 years, and then like one bad day like totally fucks up his schedule, and then he loses it. That's the whole thing. Like
that is the whole thing.
Quaid's boy's too young to be that jaded already.
That's true. That's true. Another character, I think we might have passed by it because we were scrolling through it pretty quick. Another character, curious of your thoughts as well, the ventriloquist.
Amazing. Yeah. Great character. Ridiculous, but also like you can see it. The thing. Yeah, 100%. The thing that I was trying to like explain to Archie as we were going through this is that like at least how I see it is that the best Batman villains hold up a mirror to Batman, like in one way or another. Like ventriloquist clearly is like the dark side of what's like a secret identity, a double identity, like split personality, like Batman and Bruce Wayne in one person, ventriloquist and Scarface in one person. Even Two-Face does that too. But I think Two-Face is like more about like the vigilante and like the sense of self-justice gone wrong. Just like Mr. Freeze's like obsession with family and like feeling indebted to somebody who's not there anymore. That kind of stuff. So like ventriloquist, like as ridiculous. They are, exactly. And like as ridiculous as ventriloquist is, like he holds up that mirror like perfectly, I think. So
yeah, I love it. It's still one of my favorite things from Batman animated series is when I first off love the giant bat computer in that Batcave with the giant screens and everything. When he's doing the voices and he's like, the voices don't match. Yeah. It's coming off like two different people.
Yeah.
And it's just like, to me, that's so still good. Like, that's so good. Like, it's the littlest things that have always made me geek out about this show.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's so subtle. And I'm so happy it came out again at this like time where I'm just like, I'm influenced by everything. Yeah. Right. It's 92 and now I'm in my teenage years and I'm just eating all of this up.
Yeah.
And it had me really go like, could I write something this good? The answer is no. Like, I always felt like you have to be like gifted smart to write something like this clever and this good. And you have to like, I really want to know what Paul Dini was going through when he was writing Heart of Ice, because there's pain there.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's somebody who's lost somebody.
Yeah.
Like who wrote that? On that note, just one of the things that Archie brought up was, this is a week-on-week masterclass in how to write a tightly structured story that doesn't feel rushed, bloated, or spoon-fed. Turns out a lot can be done with 18 minutes in a rich cast of personalities. Stories are only double episodes when they benefit from breathing room.
Damn.
Like, think about perfect. Like Two-Face, 2 parts.
Right.
Clayface, 2 parts. Which, by the way, if you look at this order, it's ridiculous because Two-Face Part 1 happens, and then there's like 3 to 4 episodes, and then they let us watch Two-Face Part 2. I was so mad because I love Two-Face. It's like my favorite arc in the whole show, and I had to wait a whole thing to finish it.
Dude. By one of my favorite, like, Robin's Reckoning is hands down like one of my favorite 2-parters here, and they nailed it with Dick Grayson's origin.
Well, it's like a better version, like you said, of the comics. It's a better version of like what happened to the Flying Graysons.
It absolutely is, and
because it's tight. It's 40 minutes. It's over.
It's 40 minutes. It's over, issues. But it hits like with Zuko and everything. It hits all the beats, right? Yeah. Hits all the beats, and I'm just like, this is such precise storytelling, and there's no effing around with it. It's so good. Tiger is another one. Great episode. Harley and Ivy, of course, is an absolute classic.
Yep.
I really wish they made more Dick Tracy cars that were convertibles, so I could use them with my Batman Animated.
Yeah, that would be perfect. Yep.
Right, like just all this stuff. Fire from Olympus, another one that people don't talk about enough.
Yeah, there are. I mean, what I will say is, watching all these, like, not all of them are winners. I feel like some of the ones in what we called our first season were like, definitely more filler. Like, Archie will tell you that his least favorite episode is I Have Batman in My Basement.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's. Oh. Batman in his base, because that's one with the kids, right?
Yeah.
It's like and the Penguin's going after him. Actually, I like that episode.
I feel like I think you like the idea of it better than the actual episode. Go watch it again.
Okay, I will. I will. Maybe I'll do a watch along on this channel.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, you should follow this. Having gone through this now, like, kudos to the random blog person who put this together, because it is like they have to know the source material front and back to really put stuff in order here. Like, because to me, like, we finished these, and obviously we have like 5 to 6 more weeks of the year left, so I added some additional episodes that I want him to watch, which we can get into in a second. But just me trying to figure out what episodes to watch in 5 weeks was a nightmare. And I had to watch like basically all of it to like get a sense of what I'm showing him, because it's been years since I've seen it all. And so like I can't imagine doing it for like the entire series. So, and and Archie managed to like fit it into like, a 50 or like a 45 week schedule, which was great. But like the guy who was just like the full watch along thing is like feat of genius.
But this is a great, this is a great schedule, by the way. Like this, like, what a way to spend a year. I love it. And it doesn't take time really out of your day. Bacon McShake, Dini did actually get mugged during Batman Animated Series. He did a GN about it, Dark Knight.
It's graphic novel, Dole.
Graphic novel, yeah.
I have it. Like, I've read.
For some reason in my head, I was thinking like,
Good Night,
not Lantern. And then the moment I read Dark Knight, I was like, "Oh, it's graphic novel." I got it.
Yeah.
That is the closest Craig moment I've had on this show ever.
Okay.
I love it.
So I do want to read his casual observations, because a couple of the things that we've talked about got brought up. Number 1, can't help but wonder how many of these stories could be avoided if Wayne Corp just shut down most of its operations.
Okay.
2, someone give Bruce a copy of Eat, Pray, Love and give him a hug already. Okay.
Yeah.
Pretty good. 3, Gotham really does have a convenient location to serve every plot point you could ever possibly want. Correct.
That's true. There's an abandoned warehouse for everyone.
Yes, that's right. There's lots of empty real estate. Like, I was just watching Sub-Zero today, and you know where Mr. Freeze goes? Abandoned oil rig 5 miles off the coast. Who just abandons
an oil
whatever?
rig? Gotham. Well, America.
Yeah. Oh, now we're getting into commentary.
Yeah, now we're getting political.
Oh my god! All right, and then so those were his casual takes. And then what his 2 spicy takes is globetrotting with Ra's al Ghul. Meh. Get back to Gotham, please. So he wasn't into any of the Demon's Quest stuff, and I was like, I don't have time to tell you how wrong you are because Ra's al Ghul is a big deal.
Yeah. Oh no, he's great. He's great. I hope he watched the Batman Beyond episode.
We'll get into that.
We'll get into that.
And then the other 2 is the less we talk about Tiger, and I have Batman in my basement, the better. So he specifically was like, no Tiger. So
fair enough. Yeah, and you edited with Sub-Zero and Batgirl Returns. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I never thought to put those 2 back to back or watch them back to back, but I bet you that probably fits together really well.
It totally works. It was kind of crazy because I forgot how important Barbara is in Sub-Zero.
Sub-Zero's really good.
It is. For those who don't, just a quick plot synopsis because I just watched it, an hour and a half ago. Sub-Zero is Mr. Freeze's wife gets, Nora, the canister breaks, and to save her life, she needs an organ transplant. And the only person who's got a match in Gotham City to Nora Freeze is Barbara Gordon. And so Mr. Freeze kidnaps Barbara Gordon to harvest her organs to save Nora. And then Batman and Robin have to save that stuff. Yeah, pretty wild.
It is freaking brutal. And the fact I also love that, sometimes I kind of wish it could be a little more mature in the sense of you've got Dick Grayson being like, so you want to go to this party up in a cabin with me?
Dude, yeah.
He's ready to hook up with Barbara, and I guess it is as rated as PG-13 as it can be.
Yeah.
Without being PG-13. But I love how it was just he's you're watching it when you're older and you're just yeah, that a boy.
Oh yeah. Way to go, Dick.
I love he just he asked and he's just you want to hey, let's go rent a cabin. Hey, Bruce is gonna give me the weekend off. Let's go do a thing, right?
That's right.
And I love the fact that she's
sure,
yeah, all right. Yes, it's so good. And then polar bears show up.
Oh my god, yeah. My girl watched it with me too, and she was like, "Oh, it's kind of cute that he walks around with polar bears." I was like, "It is. It's really cute. He's got out with polar bears."
Why are they friend shaped? Right, so good. For those of you who have not watched Sub-Zero, do yourself a favor. Give it a watch.
It's an hour and 5 minutes. It's an hour.
It's an hour.
Come on, you got that kind of time. So
we're gonna go. I got your screen cap here.
Oh yeah.
From your notes of your supplemental episodes, which I think is very important. As we jump into these, I am curious as to why you did not do the New Adventures. Why was that not part of the schedule?
So weirdly, on HBO Max, they include New Adventures as season 3.
I think. When it was technically season 4.
Yeah, or whatever. Mm-hmm. So, all of these episodes have that redesign for New Adventures. So,
I remember when those first got those character designs were put in Wizard magazine. I still have that Wizard magazine.
Dang.
I was losing my mind. The fact that the show was coming back. I was already well into Superman, those episodes, which was so good. And we'll get into, I'm sure you've got the 4-parter in there. World's Finest, right?
Oh, I don't. Not yet. So that's the thing is like,
Okay.
I only have 5 weeks. And technically I only have 4 weeks left because I want to do it in a year.
Okay.
Only because after this, like, he's probably done. He's asked to watch other things, so maybe New Animated Adventures gets in. I feel like I want to push him more towards Justice League or Justice League Unlimited or something like that. But he also is like he's like I'm scrolling on HBO. By the way, Archie's British. He went to Oxford. Like, he's super British. I don't have the ability to do a British accent. So imagine all of those British guy.
Oh,
which adds to the like the snootiness level of like the less we talk about Tiger, the better.
Yeah,
it's like
pretty good.
So just imagine that. But he's probably rolling his eyes right now if he's watching.
Oh man.
But he is curious enough that he's like, hey, I see a bunch of like these Batman movies on HBO Max. Like, should I watch some of those? And I was like, yes, you should. A lot of those are worth your time. Not all of them, but a lot of them. So we're trying to figure out what's the next year's project. What are we going to go through? He's like Clone Wars curious, which like I watched all the Clone Wars, which is good, but that's so much. That's a lot. I don't know if we could do all of it in a year and stuff. Just with like his kids and how much like. Well, I feel like the 2-episode pace per week is good. Like, it's pretty solid. And I'm like pushing the format here.
Clone Wars. Like, do you really? Does he need to watch an episode of droids going through the desert for 3 episodes?
I knew that's what you were going to bring up. I 100%.
Of course, that's the one. Like, that's to me. That is those episodes will always bug the shit out of me because we went from like Darth Maul, Savage Opress, oh shit, to this. Yeah, and it was like, are you kidding me? I have to wait 3 weeks. You're gonna Dave Filoni, you're a jerk.
Honestly, I feel like of Clone Wars, we probably could just skip the first 2 seasons entirely. Just start with season 3.
I think I honestly skipped the first season.
Yeah.
I tried watch the first season so many times, and I just can't get through it because it was like, man, this is for a very, very young audience.
Yeah.
This episode is about Yoda teaching clones the importance of sharing.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can get through this. So I'm with, I think you'd have to do some rooting, but I think you could make a nice streamlined version of Clone Wars. And I think that'd be a lot of fun. Anyways,
I need to figure it out. But that brings me into another point that Archie brought up that I think is a testament to how good the show is. Quote, I was not expecting the show to be this disinterested in catering to children. Stories are character motivated around wants and desires that go deeper than I'm the villain. And it's a kid's show. So, whereas Clone Wars is like, that's for kids, for sure.
It is for kids, but even that gets like, but as that series gets deeper as it goes too.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to get through that. You have to get through the icing to get to the cake on that one. Where with Batman, there's no icing.
All of these. Yeah.
It's all chicken fingers. There's no fries.
That's good. Yeah, good. Very
right?
Good.
Like, but he's right. Like, it's spot on. Like, I think again, it's a show that never talked down to anybody.
Yep.
And I kind of wish they kind of kept rolling with that with everything that we do.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because it really did. Because let's face it, like, there was a lot of characters before this series came out that were very 2-dimensional and very hollow.
Yeah.
And this series completely fleshed out everybody to where you could sit there and go, oh shit. Like, you could sit there and almost like, that's me.
Yeah.
That's not good.
100%. Who in this chat has never felt like Clock King? Like, I did everything right. I was on time.
As someone who works in production, that's me. Like, I have to be Clock King in order to make for a movie to happen and get released in theater.
Everyone's Clock King.
Everyone is Clock King, and we have to, like, the only person that's not the Clock King is the director. That's it. Everyone
the
else
director is
is
the
like,
mayor who shows up late and fucks up everything. Yeah.
Yes, that's correct. Right. And the rest of us all have to be on it, and we all have to be ready to pivot to the next time slip. You know what I mean? Like it's all, it is bonkers. But yeah, like it's funny too how like Clock King, like as I've gotten older, I'm just like, dude, I believe in you, man.
Well, that's like again, testament to another amazing show. Like everyone growing up related to SpongeBob. Go watch SpongeBob again now. You relate to Squidward.
Yeah. Or I also relate more to Bert from Sesame Street as well.
Yeah. Or Oscar. Yeah.
Yeah, Oscar. Those two, I get you. I get you.
Yeah, I get it, man.
Right? Sometimes I feel like I'm a mix of Grover and a mix of Bert. You choose. Depends what meeting I'm in. We had supplemental episodes, which I think are very important as well. So if you're not going to be diving in or doing the complete run of season of, I was just going to say New Adventures. If you're not going to be running into New Adventures, because I did look at these before we started, and I was like, oh my god, all of these are perfect.
Yeah, I did my best a little bit. I the only ones I really struggled with were Holiday Nights and Ultimate Thrill. That was between that and it was between those two, and there's another Scarface episode in this one, in this like season, and there's the episode of Firefly, who's another classic guy, another classic one. But I was like, but I watched the Ultimate Thrill, and that episode's so good that it was like, okay, like I have to do that one. Roxy, amazing,
right?
And then Holiday Nights is so good because you get that amazing redesign, probably the best of all of the redesigns in Poison Ivy, where she becomes her true goth self.
Yes.
But then also like the timing of week 3, it's going to be around Christmas-ish, and like I felt that was like thematically appropriate. So
let's put it this way: you nailed week 3 is so woman heavy.
Yeah,
and it's, to me, there's the 3 of my favorite. I just want to go to the top ones here first before we get to those.
Start in order. Yeah.
Sins of the Father, great, but Old Wounds is another one of those episodes that, because by the time the show came out, I was an older teenager, and it hit me so hard.
Yeah.
In a way I did not expect the show to ever hit me at that point. And another one that hit me hard, because this is all like, I think this all came out during my grade 12 year, and Over the Edge. Yeah. Because it had me completely fooled from the very beginning. Like where I got so interested and so just involved in what was happening that I never even tried to connect the dots.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Like it's so good.
What I will say, the whole thing with this supplemental episode list was, I saw the list of like the ones we were going to watch for the year, and I was like, Over the Edge isn't in here. How am I going to get him to watch Over the Edge? Like that episode's so good. I was like, I created a whole other, 4 more weeks of work just so we could watch Over the Edge.
Right. It is so good. It's like, again, it's one of those, like, Scarecrow got this redesign that was like so insane and so intense that it's like, don't get me wrong.
That's why Never Fear is in week 2.
Right. I see that there. And Legends of the Dark Knight as well, which takes a jab to poor Joel Schumacher.
It does. It does a little bit, but
and Judgment Day's in there as well.
The Judge is like one of my favorite Batman designs. It's like up there with the Phantasm for me. Like, right. I don't know what it is. It's just like, it's simple but effective, So
how did you know? Here's one episode I'm seeing that of course it's not World's Finest. World's Finest doesn't count. World's Finest is a movie, not a But The Creeper. How did that one end up not getting on the list?
So I thought about it, and I felt it, whatever reason, it felt like a little bit less in reality than like some of the other ones. And also like Archie also not struggles with it, but like whatever it would have is like, oh, another Joker episode. I think he likes Joker, obviously, because like Hamill is amazing. But what he really enjoys is all these villains who have motivations and flaws and fears and stuff, and the Joker is just pure chaos. And it's like, when you get into that mode, like, absolutely yes. But again, I had 4 weeks to work with. Creeper is not. I would argue that Creeper is not like pivotal to Batman lore.
Correct.
So,
but it's a fun episode.
It's a super fun episode, 100%. But again, I only have so much time, so it's like a miracle I got him to watch any of this.
No, that's true. That's totally true. And then we'll go into week 3 again. Holiday nights, like you said, man. The first short is actually all of them. The Clayface one, the Joker New Year's one. Again, I really wish DC Direct came out with Bullock and Montoya as Santa and the Elf.
Yes, 100%.
I really wish they did those toys. In fact, I even wish they would did a box set of Harley Quinn and Ivy and all their montage outfits.
Yeah,
again, so good. Just that whole episode is just so good. Everything is great. I love it. And again, the ultimate thrill. A
great episode,
man.
I feel bad introducing like a new character like this late into the game, but that episode's so self-contained and so solid.
I think I might have told this story on the show before. When I first watched the Ultimate Thrill, because again, just watching this, I was still, because grade 12.
Yep.
I'm watching it. My mom's in the kitchen. I've got it on the TV, and I'm just living my life at its greatest. My mom's making, food because it's after school, and she can hear what's happening in the background. It's near the end of the episode.
I know where this is going.
Right?
Amazing.
And Roxy's like pretty much having an orgasm at the end of this episode. And my mom was just like, "What the hell are you watching?" I'm like, "I'm watching Batman."
Yeah.
And then of course she's like, "Oh, of course you."
All right.
Of course, because my mom used to when she's not busy, she would watch all the episodes with me because she also really enjoyed the show.
That's cool.
Right. And so she was just one of those things where I was like, "What the fuck is going on?" Right? Like, what are you watching?
So
and I'm right here in the kitchen. You realize I'm right here in the kitchen.
I'm here.
Right?
Yeah. You did. It was amazing. I just it's so good. That just the end where she's like, "What are you gonna do?" And he's just like, so good.
So good. She was one of those. She was a day one purchase when DC Direct released her.
Do you have the full rocket and all that stuff?
Full rocket. She's one of those characters too. I'm surprised not more cosplayers do. Because she's
super easy.
She's a pinup girl.
Yeah.
She's a stunt woman, so she's a bit jacked. She's and she's got this really cool fucking rocket. Like, that's right. I'm like, it's very like.
I feel like the rocket might be a barrier to entry a little bit.
Might be a barrier to entry, but I've seen women Photoshop like when they do Nuke Girl and stuff like that. Like it's
Nuka-Cola or whatever.
Nuka-Cola, like all that kind of stuff. Come on.
Yeah.
It's so good. All right. You have a good night, Derek Hoover. We're going to be finishing up here very soon as well. We're going to get into week 4, which is now you're getting into the punches to the heart. I guess that's the best way to put it. This is the stuff that's going to like fucking wreck you. And we're going to get into it. So Batman Beyond, again, these are all Batman Beyond. So it was good.
They are all of them except for the last one. Yeah, exactly. That was the thing. It's like the week 1 stuff. It was like, okay, I really want him to watch Over the Edge. How do I do that? But then I was like, what's my other, like, obviously I love Mask of the Phantasm. Sub-Zero is better than I remember it to be. But like Return of the Joker, though, like that whole thing about of course, like 100% the home movies, like all that stuff. I was like, okay, it's like he's gonna get it now. Like he knows these characters. Like I could show this to him finally because like I've showed it to my lady and she was like, yeah, it's a good like thing or whatever. And I was like, no, you don't understand. Like I almost like cry every time I like watch that section. And
that
so
flashback
now I've spent a whole year building this guy up to like have him get destroyed. So it's gonna be great.
It's that flashback for Return of the Joker is just like It's so evil. Like, it's
I will.
so
I rewatch it on YouTube.
Oh yeah,
like maybe once a month. I'm not kidding.
Yeah, it's again one of those things where it's like if DC Direct came out with that Arkham playset with the curtains and the TVs and
God,
all that kind of stuff, like if they did that where it had like an interchange, like it came with that Robin, the Jokerized Robin.
Yeah,
Todd McFarlane, where the hell are you? You love Jokerized
dude.
shit. Where's that?
That's true. Oh my God.
Give me that. Like, again, if like a DC directed that, like, you know how they had like Alfred come with the Batcave? And if they just did
it should
that
be Joker
Robin,
with his lab. Yeah.
So good.
Oh my God.
So good. I'm also kind of bummed we never got like a proper Arkham playset yet either.
Yeah.
Superpowers. Please do that. Todd McFarlane Superpowers. Let's do it. And then we get into another big, heavy, emotional, tear-jerking episode. Justice League Unlimited. Again, you can't watch Epilogue without knowing who Batman Beyond is. So good thing you put Rebirth in there.
That was the first is one of like a little bit of homework. It's like you need to get introduced to the concept. I don't think he necessarily needs to watch the whole show, even though it's fantastic. But it's just enough to get him into the concept and then into Return of the Joker. And then Epilogue even references Return of the Joker too, which is pretty great.
Which is great.
So,
but Ace
and Ace, yeah, that's the big one. That's just like a one last reminder of like the emotional core of Batman. Like the last episode theoretically of Batman he could ever watch. So I hope that's not, but it could be. So
it could be. Yes.
That's the thing. Like you have to plan like it is, right?
That's true. Yeah, you do have to, because he might not ever touch these again. I kind of hope he decides he wants to jump into Justice League and Justice League Unlimited at some point.
Me too.
Because those are just, again, like that Justice League season 1. It's the Royal Flush Gang with Joker hiding the bombs around Las Vegas. I believe that's the last time we see Harley Quinn portrayed by Arlene Sorkin.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Those 2 episodes. Again, there's the Epilogue. Again, folks, if you haven't watched all of this, if you ever do watch Epilogue last. And again, this is one of those episodes where at this point I was already living out in Vancouver when Epilogue played. I just happened to be back home.
Yeah.
At my parents' place. My friends are over. Epilogue came on. My mom said everything was loud. And then everything got really quiet.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And she's like, because everyone kind of like turned their like attention to the episode. And then everyone just like, and again, I was watching it with people who don't usually watch Batman cartoons as well.
Yeah.
And everyone just like froze. And I've watched this with my mom and stuff since as well, this episode. Yeah. So I was like, remember that day? This is it. I now own it on DVD. We're watching it.
It's so good. Yeah.
Right?
And
so good.
And it also like it kind of gives it a happy ending, and you get to see Bruce kind of where he's at in the last part of this version of him, right? He's like whatever, like 97 or whatever, and very like Crypt Keeper looking. But it's like it's at least because they never show when he dies or whatever like that. So like that's literally like the last time you see that version of Batman. Which
I was always like, cool. I'm kind of glad they didn't have to ever spell things out to us either in Batman Beyond. Like again, they didn't treat us dumb. So they didn't try to like be like, well, this is where this person is, and this is when and how Alfred died, and this is like, they just like some characters are gone. I think the best return was Bane, where he's like in the wheelchair and he's like addicted. To, like he's coming off like from rehab because he was addicted to the Venom and stuff. It was just
Now I'm gonna rewatch all of Batman Beyond because.
It's so good. Awesome. Okay. I usually like try to keep things tight to an hour. We are at 1:20. We're going to wrap this up. Thank you for sharing. Like, as I love talking about Batman animated series, it's so great to hear somebody's views on watching them as an adult for the first time.
Yeah.
Because it's just,
well, next time
man,
we'll
that
have to
must have been
schedule him
so
to
much
like
fun.
come on and talk about it. So I can
Yeah,
send you
let's
his full notes
absolutely
too,
do
so we
that.
can talk about it. But yeah, so cool. And I'm glad that he was willing to do it, and like he's curious because he's also like he's always focused on like what's the best version of something. Like I'm gonna watch 70 millimeter blah 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 whatever, like Criterion collection, like that kind of stuff. And so he was like, oh, I've heard the best version of Batman is this cartoon, let's watch this. And so I hope he got what he was looking for. I think he did. I think he's very excited.
And props to Shirley Walker using a full orchestra for 100%. That soundtrack as well. So it really added everything.
A good chunk of my notes is like, oh, there's a new leitmotif here because it's a different character. Like, and she orchestrated like a whole new thing. Like, for like, like Two-Face has his own theme. Like Scarecrow has like all like. There's some like. Remember
you hear the themes like
that 100%.
It's so funny. Like it's. I remember when I first found the soundtracks.
Yeah.
And I got them, and it had Heart of Ice on there. And the moment you hear that from the opening title card, you hear the
flute,
the music, the flute. Yep. And you're just like already you're hit impactful. Like you're just like, oh my God, why am I doing this to myself? Like this is self-torture. Like this is like, because you just, like I said, this show changed my life, 100% changed my life. It's
man,
it sculpted me big time. But no, thank you for sharing this. Thank you everyone for
thanks for watching, guys.
And I realized I did miss a super chat from Johnny Cocklear too. Monetization mode activated. Here, take my money. Just ordered the Jada Street Fighter 2 figures. Celebrate with me.
Nice.
Johnny, thank you for the $5. Thank you very much. And those Jada Super or Street Fighter figures, I wanted to say Super Street Fighter 2. Street Fighter 2 figures they're so good. I love Street Fighter.
They're great.
I love them so much. But no, that's it. Do you have any final thoughts? Or actually, I'm going to ask you for this final thought. Do you have any recommended reading? For comics? It doesn't necessarily have to be DC. It can be whatever is going to get people to the comic shops.
Yeah, I do have one. Let me grab it real quick. I got it for my birthday. Last year. Hold on. It's very good.
All right. Okay. So Kyle gets that. Thank you everyone that came and did hang out with us tonight. Thank you for everyone who's watching us on the replay. If you liked what you were listening to or hanging out with here, put a like on there. Let's get us in the algorithm. Let's build this community of just talking about Batman and cartoons and comics and movies positively and just having fun. So thank you everyone for being here. If you're new here, feel free to hit that subscribe button. And like I said, come and hang out with us more often. It was super, super fun. But Kyle, go for it. The floor is yours.
So my recommendation for comics, I have a lot. I love The Goon. I love Eric Powell. Love a lot of Batman comics. Love Brian Lee O'Malley and stuff. This was gifted to me by one of my coworkers, a guy named Dennis Brown, who does packaging for Super 7. Apparently he is friends with this artist. This is by a guy named Daniel Warren Johnson, who did a Wonder Woman book not too long ago. That's very good. And the comic is called Murder Falcon. And it's a graphic novel. By Daniel Warren Johnson and Mike Spicer. And it is about a guy who plays metal music. And when he plays music, the avatar of his heavy metal manifests itself as this Murder Falcon, which is just this giant, beefy falcon dude with a robot arm. And think like Pacific Rim, like the better you play, the better Murder Falcon fights. And you fight demons from hell. And it's fantastic. And he was kind enough to give me a copy that was signed as well.
Oh, okay. So
I'm showing
Daniel
you nothing.
Warren.
Awesome.
Daniel showing Warren me. I was like,
there it is. There's the signature.
There it is. Okay, so Daniel Warren Johnson. For those who don't know who he is, everyone should be following him on Instagram and Twitter. His art is absolutely bonkers.
Look at this. Look at this. Just amazing.
If you are, hang on. I'm going to show, you show off those, then I'm going to show off these. This guy is also a huge wrestling nut. So I picked up this sketch pad from him at a convention. I got mine signed too. You can see it there. And he does another comic called Powerbomb.
Mm-hmm.
And usually, to me, wrestling doesn't always translate the best in comics, unless it's manga for whatever reason.
Or unless it's drawn by Daniel Warren Johnson.
Unless it's you can feel every hit when Daniel Warren
He's got so much energy to his drawings. Look at this full-on Mastodon splash page.
Hang on, let's go there.
Good.
Pow! Oh,
look at that. Just insanity. So highly recommend Murder Falcon.
So good. Yes, it's got do a power bomb. I always just called it power bomb. Do a power bomb. That's correct. Thank you, Zach. S. Myers, love the show. We'll catch the rest in the replay. Thank you. Worth noting that Daniel Warren Johnson is doing some nice work on the new Transformers book as well. Great shout out.
Mm-hmm.
Great shout out. Thank you for throwing that out there. Thank you for watching and checking out the show as well. But I mean, look at that. Great Muda. Or not Muda.
So good.
But it's just like, I think he's got a Muda in here though. But it's like, the guy's awesome. He's the nicest guy too. Nicest guy. So if you see him at a convention, do yourself a favor. Throw money at him.
Yeah.
Give him so much money. The guy is, like I said, super nice, super talented. And you can just go and start, and you can just start talking to him about wrestling. And you know what happens when wrestling fans start talking? They don't shut up and they talk forever.
Well, he's a metal fan too, and it's the same way. So
it's the same way. Yeah.
Yep.
He's into all the big interests, man.
That's right.
So good. I love it. So awesome. Thank you for being here, Kyle. Thank you for hanging out with me tonight.
Thank you for having me. I realized I sort of invited myself a little bit, but I'm grateful.
Yeah, usually when people do that, I go, no. But I was like, no, this sounds awesome. I want to do this. This sounds really
good. Cool.
Awesome. Cool. Thank you, everyone. And have a good night.
See you guys.